Hi students, here I am going to cover the next 50 questions from that is 51 to 100 of a BSHF 101 multiple choice questions and answers. Let's start now without wasting time. I just will start now because it's the time to prepare for the exam right now. So I don't want to waste the time. So let's start 50 first question. From 1 to 50 question is being covered in the first session, and this is the second session where I'm going to cover the question from 51 to 100. So 51st question is when Constitution Day is celebrated. So when Constitution Day is celebrated, it is 26th November. 26th November is a Constitution Day. When Panchayati Raj Act was passed. 52nd question is when Panchayati Raj Act was passed. It was passed in 1957, so it is after the independence. And 53rd question is the Chipko movement was led by Sundarlal Bahuguna. Sundarlal Bahuguna. Chipko movement was led by Sundarlal Bahuguna. 54th question. 73rd amendment is related to the answer is Panchayati Raj. So 73rd amendment is related to the Panchayati Raj. 55 when was a national emergency imposed on the India? So in 1975. So national emergency was imposed on India is in 1975. Okay. 56. The Constitution Assembly was headed by the Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The answer is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Constitution Assembly. So Constitution Assembly was headed by the Dr. Rajendra Prasad, whereas Chipko movement was led by this Sundarlal Bahuguna. Next one is 57th question. Which committee was working in 1949 on DNTs? So that is the Antro-Liquor Committee. Antro-Liquor Committee was working in 1959 on DNTs. When RTI Act passed by Parliament. So RTI Act passed by the Parliament 11th May 2005. So 11th May 2005 RTI Act was passed by the Parliament. 59th question. The full form of GDP is Gross Domestic Product. So GDP is nothing but Gross Domestic Product. And 60th question. When was first 5-year plan introduced? So in 1951, the first 5-year plan was being introduced. And 61, the Indian economy mixed or open. So Indian economy is a mixed economy. So answer is Indian economy is a mixed economy. 62nd is when Rollout Act passed by British government. So Rollout Act passed by the British government first of all, and when in 1919. So before independence, that is 1919. Very easy. 1919 is the Rollout Act, which is passed by the British government. During first and second 5-year plan. During first and second 5-year plan (FYP), highest priority was given for what sector? So highest priority was given for industry and agriculture in the first and the second 5-year plan. So 5-year plan which was introduced in 1951. So to introduction, and in the first and second 5-year plan, they were completely concentrating on the industry and the agriculture. So the third 5-year plan. So in third 5-year plan, they gave priority for what sector? That is power. So in the first FYP, they gave the importance for the priority for the industry and agriculture, and after that in third FYP they gave the priority for the power. And next, an economy that maintains economic relation with the rest of the world called open economy. So an economy that maintains economic relations with the rest of the world is called the open economic. 66th question, the things that comes under the literature. The things that comes under the literature. So let's see what it is. Poetry, fiction, drama, and criticism. So these all comes under the literature. 67th question, the Ajanta cave belongs from which period? The Ajanta cave belongs from which period? That is Satavahana period. So in Satavahana period, the Ajanta cave, Ajanta cave, the concept will come in Satavahana period. The Ajantavahana belongs from which period? That is for Satavahana period. So let's go for the next question. It is 68th. What is Natwari dance? So Natwari dance, it is nothing but a Kathak dance, which is also known as a Natwari dance. So Kathak dance and Natwari dance both are same. So Kathak and Natwari, Kathak, Natwari. And 69th question, three fundamental constituents of music are Swara, Tal and Rag. So Swar, Tal and Rag. So simply we can remember in STR, Swara, Tal and Rag. STR, the first alphabet of all these three words. That is Swar, Tal and Rag. STR. This is the three fundamental constituents of music. And let's go for 70th one. The lyrics used in this dance seems to be influenced very largely by the Jayadev's Gita Govinda. What it is? The answer is Kathakali. So Kathakali lyrics, which is used in the dance, seems to be influenced very largely by the Jayadev Gita Govinda. So Kathakali. 71 question. When World Environmental Day is celebrated? So 5th June, the World Environmental Day is celebrated. 5th June. And what are the types of environment? What are the types of environment? There are two types of environment. That is biotic and abiotic. So biotic and abiotic. So these are the two types of environment. And what is adaptation? 73rd question is adaptation. What is adaptation? The process by which a human being adjusts to a situation. So that is called as a adaptation. Exactly. This is called adaptation, where the human being adjusts to the situation. Adaptation. 74th question is what is anachronistic? So what is anachronistic? That which is severely out of date. That which is severely out of date is called as anachronistic. 75. The basileus of Padua belongs to which country? The basileus of Padua belongs to which country? He was an Italian scholar. So basileus of Padua belongs to Italy. So here we go for the next question, 76th one. What is blasphemy? What is blasphemy? Act of insulting or a sacred object is called as a blasphemy. So act of insulting or a sacred object is called as a blasphemy. 77th question. What is non-fascism? So what is non-fascism? So opposition to fascist ideologies, groups and individuals. So this is called as a non-fascism. Non-fascism is nothing but opposition to fascist ideologies, groups, and the individuals. This is called as a non-fascism. Next one is 78th. When did the Iron Age commence? When did Iron Age commence? Around 1200 BC. So around Iron Age commence. When did Iron Age commence? Around 1200 BC. But when did Iron Age commence in India? So where that is called as for that answer is around 1000 BC. But actually the Iron Age commence around 1200 BC. But when especially it comes to India, that time the answer will be around 1000 BC. And what do you mean by abstraction? What is mean by abstraction? Yeah, the process of formation of ideas, quality of things. The process of formation of ideas or quality of things by separating it mentally from any particular material object. So this is called abstraction. Okay, and who wrote the book on the revolutions of the heavenly spheres and when? So the book called Revolutions of Heavenly Spheres, wrote by the Nicholas Copernicus. Okay, so Nicholas Copernicus, who wrote the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres book, and when? It was in 15th century, which is 1543. So in 1543, Nicholas Copernicus wrote Revolutions of Heavenly Spheres. In 15th century itself, he wrote the book. That's really great. And 81st, when and where the copper was discovered for the first time. When and where the copper was discovered for the first time. Okay, around 9000 BC in Iraq. Okay, so Iraq, very good. Actually, in Iraq, they discovered a copper. It was around 9000 BC. Around 9000 BC in Iraq, they discovered a copper. That's really great. And in 82nd question, who was the first person to successfully circumnavigate the world and when? So who was the first person? Just remember, who was the first person to successfully circumnavigate the world? That is Magellan. That is also happened in the 15th century only in Magellan, from 1519 to 1522. So it took 19, 20, 21, 22. It took 4 years to circumnavigate the world. That's really great, Magellan. And in 15th century only, this book was also being introduced by wrote by the Nicholas Copernicus. The book name is called Revolution of the Heavenly Spheres in 15th century, in 1543. And before that itself, the person called Magellan have fully circumnavigated the world. This is in 1519 to 1522. So it took 4 years then. That's great. And we go for the 83rd question. Who was the first European to sail around the southernmost tip of Africa and when? Who was the first European? Just remember, who was the first European to sail around the southernmost tip and Africa and when? There is Bartholomew Dias. Bartholomew Dias in 14th century. That is 1488. So in 14th century, a person called Bartholomew Dias was the first European to sail around the southernmost tip of Africa. So because he is the person who is founder of Africa, and this in 14th century, and even 14th century only, Even India was being discovered by the Vasco da Gama, and even Africa was being discovered by the Bartholomew Dias. So if you go for the exact date, that is 1497 to 98, which is being discovered by the Vasco da Gama. The India was being discovered by the Vasco da Gama in 1487 to 98. Next, Africa, which comes 1487 to 88, discovered by the Bartholomew Dias. 84th question: what is absolutism? What is absolutism? A government in which a ruler has absolute power. Government in which the ruler has government in which a ruler has absolute power is called absolutism. Okay. What do you mean by the heretic? What do you mean by heretic? A holding belief opposed to church, especially by its members. A holding belief opposed to church, especially by its members. That's called a heretic. What do you mean by scholasticism? What is meant by scholasticism? A system of thought based on Aristotelian logic. A system of thought based on the Aristotelian logic. So that is called as a scholasticism. And what is tithe? T-I-T-H-E. Tithe. The 1/10 of annual produce from land paid as a contribution to church. So that is called as a tithe. Okay. And when and which war weak the U.S. economy? When and which war weak which war weak the U.S. economy? Okay. So when and which war weak the U.S. economy? So in Vietnam War in 1960 and 70s, which weak the U.S. economy. Okay. So U.S. economy also became weak in 1960 and 1970s and during Vietnam War. Okay. And which term is also called as umbrella term? Which term is called as an umbrella term? Literature is an umbrella term for poetry, fiction, drama, and criticism. The answer is literature is an umbrella term for poetry, fiction, drama, and criticism. And let's go for the 93rd. So what is a tragedy? A play that ends sadly. So that is a tragedy. What is epic? Epic is a very long poem on large scale touching upon a whole race's history on some cosmic issues. So that is a epic. What is lyric? So 95th question is, what is lyric? Poetic composition capable of being set to music. What is lyric? A poetic composition capable of being set to music. So that is a lyric. What is rhythm? Rhythm, the regular beat is called as a rhythm. So regular beat is called a rhythm. Okay. Lyric and rhythm. Okay, so lyric is the poetic composition capable of being set to music is a lyric. Rhythm, the regular beat is called as a rhythm. Okay. 97th question is, author of Paradise Lost is Milton. Author of Paradise Lost is Milton. 98th question, the Tulsidas, Kabir, and Surdas were Bhakti poet. 99. Who is the author of Divine Comedy? Who is the author of Divine Comedy? Dante. So there's the 99th question. So Dante is the author of a Divine Comedy. And last question, the 100. What is satire? What is satire? What is satire? A critical form of theatre in which critique is achieved through humor, wit, and ridicule. So this is called as a satire, the critical form of theatre in which critique is achieved through humor, wit, and ridicule. So this is the last question of this session. So totally in this we have covered 50 questions, the 51 to 100, and remaining and further the 50 questions will be covered in the next session, that is third session. So thank you.